שירו לאדוני, שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני, כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני, ברכו שמו, בסכו מיום ליום ישועתו. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסכו מיום ליום ישועתו. ספרו בגויים כבודו, לכל העמים נפלאותיו, כי גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, נורא הוא על כל אלוהים. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסכו מיום ליום ישועתו. ספרו בגויים כבודו, לכל העמים נפלאותיו, כי גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, נורא הוא על כל אלוהים. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסכו מיום ליום ישועתו. ספרו בגויים כבודו, לכל העמים נפלאותיו, כי גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, נורא הוא על כל אלוהים. שירו לאדוני, שירו לאדוני, שירו לאדוני. ספרו בגויים כבודו, לכל העמים נפלאותיו, כי גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, נורא הוא על כל אלוהים. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסכו מיום ליום ישועתו. שירו לאדוני, שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני, כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני, ברכו שמו, בסכו מיום ליום ישועתו. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסכו מיום ליום ישועתו. ספרו בגויים כבודו, לכל העמים נפלאותיו, כי גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, נורא הוא על כל אלוהים. שירו לאדוני שיר
Shabbat Shalom. As you come in, make sure you grab the 2 sheets that are there. A couple of announcements. You may have noticed that the ropes are gone. We have been informed by our COVID task force because we are under 5% positivity rate within San Antonio, and we have such a large sanctuary that the ropes are gone. You may have noticed on the front door, there are signs that say masks are strongly encouraged within the sanctuary. It is your choice of what you would like to do when you are in the sanctuary itself. Woohoo! All right, we are going to start our service this morning with an inspiration and intent, page 66. Each of us enters this sanctuary with a different need. Some hearts are full of peace and gratitude, overflowing with love and joy. They are eager to confront the day to make the world a better place. They are recovering from illness or have escaped misfortune. We rejoice with them. Some hearts ache with sorrow. Disappointments weigh heavily on them. Families have been broken. Loved ones lie on a bed of pain. Death has taken a cherished loved one. May our presence and caring bring them comfort. Some hearts are embittered. Ideals are betrayed and mocked. Answers sought in vain. Life has lost its meaning and value. May the knowledge that we too are searching restore our hope and renew our faith. We continue on page 77 at the top as we thank God for our bodies and the way that they work. Together. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe. With divine wisdom, you have made our bodies, combining veins, arteries, and vital organs into a finely balanced network. Wondrous maker and sustainer of life, were one of them to fail, how well we are aware, we would lack the strength to stand before you. Blessed are you, Adonai, source of our health and strength. Baruch atah Adonai, rofer chol basar umafli la'asot. Page 78, Elohai neshama shenatata bi. My God, the soul you have given me is pure. As we turn to page 83, if you don't have a book in front of you, because we have the ropes up, the books are kind of in wacky places. If you need a book, there are some up by the front door if you need one, or check other rows. We read responsively on 83. As I awaken, let this be my thought. May my day be filled with acts of loving kindness. Let me be drawn to learning and discernment, and may my actions be shaped by mitzvot.
Keep me from iniquity, disgrace, and sin. May I not be overwhelmed by temptation or despair.
Distance me from evil people and false friends. Let me cultivate a life of goodness.
May my hands reach out in kindness, and I will serve God through acts of righteousness.
Today and every day, may I merit your mercy by living my life with compassion and love.
Holy One of blessing, draw me to your words. Teach me the art of sacred living.
Baruch atah Adonai, hamelamed chasadim tovim le'amo Yisrael. We continue on page 106 with Chatzi Kaddish as we rise and remain standing through Shema.
Yitkadosh Shemei Rabbah, Amen. Ve'amad yivrach chirutei, ve'amnich malchutei, v'chayachon v'yomechon v'chayerecho beit Yisrael. Pagaloi v'zeman kariv, v'yimeru, Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah mevorach, le'olam olamei omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitbar v'yijomar v'yitnaseh, v'yitador v'yitalev v'yitala, Shemei l'kodesha b'richut. Le'ela min kol b'chata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechemata, damiron be'olema, v'yimeru, Amen. Ya la la, ya la la la, ya la la, ya la la la, ya la la, ya la la la, ya la la, ya la la la. Baruchu et Adonai, HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach. Le'olam va'ed, le'olam, 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 le'olam va'ed. Ya la la, ya la la la, ya la la, ya la la la, ya la la, ya la la la, ya la la, ya la la la.
On page 110, we join together in the Hebrew. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, yotzer or uvarei choshech, osei shalom uvarei et hakol, hameir la'aretz v'ladarim aleha barachamim, uvtuvo mechadesh b'chol yom tamid ma'aseh v'reishit. Ma rabu ma'asecha Adonai, kulam b'chochma asita, mal'a haaretz kinyanecha. Titbarach Adonai Eloheinu, al shevach ma'aseh yadecha, ba'al me'orei or sha'asita yifa'arucha sela, or chadash al tzion ta'ir, v'nizkeh hulanu mehera le'oro, Baruch atah Adonai, yotzer ha'me'orot. On the bottom of page 113, we read together. Love your neighbor as yourself, you said, and light blinded we saw, that inner and outer worlds are one, as you are one. You spoke and we wrote. We reached for you down the centuries, your light moving before us, as we climbed, fell back, and climbed again, your Sinai of life. Baruch atah Adonai, habocher ba'amo Yisrael be'ahava.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. Baruch Shem kevod malchuto le'olam va'ed. You may be seated. Please join me on page 116 with Ve'ahavta. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha v'chol nafshecha בחרת בם, בשבתך, בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
We continue on page 119. If people fall, can they not also rise? If they break away, can they not return? The stork in the sky knows when to migrate. The dove and the swallow know the season of return. What human instinct knows the time to turn back? What cue sparks the conscience of the soul? We pray to sense this day anew, attuned to the call of sacred living. We do this together on page 122, singing Micha Mocha, welcoming freedom and redemption.
Micha Mocha, Ba'elim Adonai, Micha Mocha, Neder v'kodesh, Nor Tehilot, Osef Ele, Shira Chadasha, שבכל גאולים, לשמך שפת הים, יחד כולם הודו, והמליכו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
We continue with the Amidah, which begins on page 124. Please rise.
Adonai ata Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elokei avotenu v'imotenu, Elokei Avraham, Elokei Yitzchak, Elokei Yaakov, Elokei Sarah, Elokei Rivka, Elokei Rachel, Elokei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chastei Avot v'Imahot, U'mevii Geula livnei v'neihem, Le'ma'an Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshiach u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh kol atah rav le'Hoshia, Moshiv haruach morid hagashem, Mechalkel chaim bechesed, Mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim ve'rofeh cholim, U'matir asurim, U'mekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Michamocha ba'al givurot, U'mido melech, Melech memit u'mechayeh, U'motzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'emanat halachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Nekadesh et shemecha ba'olam, Keshem shemokdishim oto b'shmei marov, Kakatuv ayad nevi'echa, V'kareh zel zeh ve'amar, Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzevaot, Meloch haaretz, Kevodo, Adir, Adirenu, Adonai, Adonai, Madir Shemecha b'chol haaretz, Baruch kevod Adonai bimkomo. Echad hu Eloheinu, hu Avinu, hu Malkeinu, hu Moshiach v'hu Yoshmi'enu, v'rachamav le'nei kol chai. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Imloch Adonai le'olam, Elohayich Tzion, ledor v'dor. Hallelujah. Ledor v'dor nagid kodecha, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש, לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
You may be seated. On page 132, we sing together Yismechu, rejoicing in the 24 hours of Shabbat that we are given with these 24 words of Yismechu.
ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת, חורי עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת, חורי עונג Korei Onek Shabbat. Zecher Lemase Bereshit Shabbat. Zecher Lemase Bereshit Shabbat. Yismechu v'malechutecha shomrei Shabbat. Korei Onek Shabbat. Yismechu v'malechutecha shomrei Shabbat. V'korei Onek Shabbat.
Page 134, we join together in English. Our God and God of our ancestors, be pleased with our rest. Sanctify us with your mitzvot, and grant us a share in your Torah. Satisfy us with your goodness, and gladden us with your salvation. Purify our hearts to serve you in truth. In your gracious love, Adonai our God, grant us your holy Shabbat as a heritage. May Israel, who sanctifies your name, rest on Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai, who sanctifies Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha-Shabbat. Page 139, we take time to recognize the things around us that we take for granted, that we have the opportunity this Shabbat to stop and thank God. Modim anachnu lach, we thank you, God. For the expanding grandeur of creation, worlds known and unknown, galaxies beyond galaxies, filling us with awe and challenging our imaginations. Modim anachnu lach. For this fragile planet Earth, its times and tides, its sunsets and seasons. Modim anachnu lach. For the joy of human life, its wonders and surprises, its hopes and achievements. Modim anachnu lach. For human community, our common past and future hope, our oneness transcending all separation, our capacity to work for peace and justice in the midst of hostility and oppression. Modim anachnu lach. For high hopes and noble causes, for faith without fanaticism, for understanding of views not shared. Modim anachnu lach. For all who have labored and suffered for a fairer world, who have lived so that others might live in dignity and freedom. Modim anachnu lach. For human liberties and sacred rights, for opportunities to change and grow, to affirm and choose. Modim anachnu lach. We pray that we may live not by our fears, but by our hopes, not by our words, but by our deeds. Blessed are you, Adonai, your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha u'lecha na'eh lehodot.
Sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, tova uveracha. Sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, tova uveracha. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, tova uveracha. We take a moment now for our own silent meditation.
Seder Kriyat Torah, our service for the reading of Torah, page 245. Assemble the people, men, women, and children, and the strangers in your cities, to hear, to learn, to revere Adonai your God, to observe faithfully the words of this Torah, and let their children who do not yet know it hear, that they too may learn to revere Adonai your God. We rise in honor of our Torah.
אין כמוך אלוהים אדוני, אין כמעשיך. מלכותך מלכות כל עולמים, וממשלתך בכל דור ודור. אדוני מלך, אדוני מלך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום.
At the bottom of page 247, we read responsively. In this scroll is the secret of our people's life from Sinai until now.
Its teaching is love and justice, goodness and hope. Freedom is its gift to all who treasure it. Baruch Shanatan, Torah, Torah. Baruch Shanatan, Torah, Torah. Le'amo Yisrael, b'kedushato. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Gadlul Adonai iti, unomem Shemo yachtav. Lecha Adonai hagdulah, hagvara v'atiferet, v'hanetzach v'ha'od. Ki cho b'shamayim u'ba'aretz, ki cho b'shamayim u'ba'aretz. Lecha Adonai הממלכה המתנשאת לכל ראש. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב. יאללה לה 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 לה. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב. יאללה לה 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 לה. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב. יאללה לה 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 לה. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב. יאללה לה 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 לה.
You may be seated. Thank you. All right, so you got two papers when you came in. One was blue, hold that to the side for the second. And we're gonna look at the one that is white but has blue on it. And we're going to start on the side that has Hebrew. And we are talking about our Torah portion of Pekudei. And Pekudei is usually combined with a Torah portion before it via Kel, because they flow very nicely together, continuing the creation of the tabernacle and checking it all out, making sure it's all good and perfect and all covered. So I'm a visual learner and I love colors. So the fact that I could give you a sheet that has color on it is very exciting. And the Torah talks about these colors, and I want to look and explore about them a little bit, but let's look at what the text says, and Cantor Berlin will be chanting this later. But I'm going to have Bernadette read Exodus 39, 1 through 3, please.
Of the blue, purple, and crimson yarns, they also made the service vestments for officiating in the sanctuary. They made Aaron's sacral vestments, and as the Lord had commanded Moses. The ephod was made of gold, blue, purple, and crimson yarns, and fine twisted linen. They hammered out sheets of gold and cut threads to be worked into designs among the blue, the purple, and the crimson yarns, and the fine linen.
Thank you, right? So over and over, we get these colors, we're highlighting them, we're looking at them, right? So we have Techelet, which is our blue. We have Argaman, which is our purple. We have To'olat Shani, which is our red. Scarlet red, if you want to get really specific. And then you have your Sheish, which is your linen, which is understood to be white, which if I wrote it in white, you wouldn't see it. So here, just pretend it's in white. So let's look at what Rabbi Samson Raphael Hirsch has to say. Dimitri.
Rabbi Samson Raphael Hirsch explained that all the colors are found in man's essence and in his relationship with God. He explains that what this means is that each one has a different connection in this way. They are listed below for least important to most important, and in the Bible they are referenced in the opposite order. Linen.
Yeah, go for it.
White, which represents the vegetative dimension. Scarlet, which represents the animated dimension. Purple, which represents the human dimension. And blue, which represents the divine dimension.
Right, and when you put them all together, it becomes our essence. We try to have maybe a little bit more blue so we get a little bit closer to God, but that we have all of these elements within ourselves, and it brings us closer to God. And so it's not just about it being in the tabernacle or being on the sacral vestments, but it's also what is about us inside and how do we understand it. So let's look a little bit more deeply at each of them. So Techelet, blue. Katie, will you read that one?
Techelet, blue. According to many rabbis and Rabbi Samson Raphael Hirsch, the blue in many ways symbolizes the presence of heaven on earth, which was the essence of the entire tabernacle and temple. Rabbi Hirsch explains that blue is seen on the horizon and that it covers that which is not seen, the divine dimension of creation.
Right, so this beauty, if we think about outside how much blue we see, let's say on a good day, right? And maybe if you live on a coast, even more blue, right? But how much blue is there and that we can see God in these unexplainable places and how beautiful that is. So let's go to Argaman, purple. Samantha, will you read that one?
Chazal and
Chazal. Remember the CH, you got Chazal.
Good thing it's pollen season.
Right, exactly. You've got it going on. It's ready. It'll help you.
And modern historic scholarship concur that
Argaman
is a dark red, the shade of blood that we have deemed purple.
Right, so we automatically think of this as purple, but it's really about that deep red. So when you go back to the page before and Rabbi Samson Raphael Hirsch says purple represents the human dimension, it totally makes sense that the understanding of it is that it's actually this deep red like a blood. Okay, Lacey, would you read To'olat Shani? And then Mandy, you're next.
Red symbolizes animated life, meaning health and physical perfection. It can also symbolize blood from both a sinful aspect, i.e. blood on your hands, and just the focus of life depending on blood.
Thank you. Right, so understanding red, not from the blood in terms of what makes a human, but what it could mean and this animated life of the health and physical perfection. Mandy, will you read about shesh, that linen?
Shesh, white linen. The Maharal of Prague said, "The color white is absolute simplicity, for the color white is not called a color, for this color has absolute simplicity. The color white symbolizes the simplicity of the sacrificial service."
I don't know how simple the sacrificial service was. If you keep going in Leviticus, not so simple. But we'll just go with Rabbi Samson, Raphael Hirsch. They're like, okay, I'll keep it, right? But that white has this absolute, this comprehensive. So Dwayne, will you read the Rabbi Samson, Raphael Hirsch on the bottom there, please? Wait till the mic comes. Wait. Otherwise, no one can hear you. I know you can be loud, but I want to make sure.
Thanks. Rabbi Samson Raphael Hirsch explains that the color white describes, in all places according to the human understanding, purity. This color symbolizes both physical and moral purity. We must therefore understand that the color white of the linen is a symbol of purity, of plant-like purity. The status relating to moral purity are very prominent in the Torah. They demand that one restrain natural life, passions, and lust, that one distance oneself from sexual corruption and from the desecration of life. These are the conditions without which it is impossible to arrive at spiritual perfection and moral closeness to God. Thus, it is evident that the colored white of the linen symbolizes purity. Purity is a level of nobility demanded by the Torah.
So I think this is really interesting. We had Torah study this morning, and we talked about this and how do we connect with these ideas, right? And how does God play out in our lives? And we have all these things that we're supposed to refrain from, right? To have it be this moral, pure standing, but we have to have those, maybe some of those negative things, and have a point of trying to better ourselves to even be able to get to that pure level. And I love, River is so into this text study, he is just shaking that paper, I love it, right? So we get really into this text, right? And the reason why all these details are so important, right? There are lots of things I could have focused on. Why am I nitpicking about colors besides the fact that I love them? That it's important because the tabernacle aspired to be a home for God on earth. Right? God is dwelling among us, but this place almost centers us. This tabernacle, this mishkan almost centers us. So each item has a symbolism because that's what we do in Judaism. Everything has a little symbol. And if you ask somebody else, each of the colors represents something else. And if you ask somebody else, right, keep going. But just when we look at that color scheme, it gives us an idea of why God was so specific in the instructions as to which colors should be used in the materials and what they signify and what they mean. So this applies to us today because Judaism prides itself on the details, the minutiae that make our religion so special that then we can try to discover and parse out and be able to find God's presence within them. Were it not for the details, we wouldn't have these moments throughout the year that make things so special, right? From the way that we organize our service, all the details of what happens, to the efforts we go to enjoy our festivals. Right? Maybe Rosh Hashanah, maybe Sukkot, Pesach, how do you prepare? What do you do? What happens in the service? All of these things. It is the attention to the minutia, to the detail that makes all of these times so special. So while we hear the devil is in the detail, could be, but so is the divine spirit that resides in each and every one of us. Shabbat Shalom. So we are going, we can follow along. If you go back to that front page, we can follow along in the text in these verses that Cantor Berlin is going to chant for us. And our blessings for reading Torah are on page 250. And as is our custom on Shabbat morning, we will do the blessings all together. What?
Did you say the page?
I did. 250 for our blessings. You good?
Baruch hu et
Adonai Hamvarach, Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol hamim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch ata Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen, amen. Umin hatachelet v'ha'argaman v'tolat hashani asu vigdei serad l'sharet b'kodesh v'ya'asu et bigdei hakodesh asher le'aharon kasher tziva Adonai et Moshe v'yas et ha'ephod zahav תכלת וארגמן ותולעת שני ושש משזר וירקעו את פחי הזהב וקיצץ פתילים לעשות בתוך התכלת ובתוך הארגמן ובתוך תולעת השני ובתוך השש מעשה חושב.
Again, together at the bottom of 250. Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chaye olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch ata Adonai noten haTorah. So now you're going to take out that blue sheet, and I'm going to invite up River and his family. Come on, Ophelia. So on your blue sheets, we are going to have this opportunity to give River his Hebrew name. I got a half smile, I'll take it. All right, to give him his Hebrew name. God and Creator, happy parents, friends, and family have come into your presence with grateful hearts. Give them the wisdom to teach their son to be faithful to the heritage and the household of Israel, that he may grow up with the knowledge that you are always near to him, guiding and sustaining him. May he come to see through the love of family that you, O God, are a spirit which unites us all. Holy One of blessing, grant this child health of mind and strength of body, that he may enjoy fullness of years and may be blessed with the gift of godlike growth, the ability to discover the wonders of our world more and more each and every day.
O God, for the gift of this child, I give thanks, praying that I will never, that I will ever continue to be worthy of the blessing and the sacred responsibility of parenthood. May I show my gratitude to you by leading my child in the way of righteousness. Teach me, teach me to guide him in goodness. May I instruct him with compassion and wisdom so that he may grow up loving humanity and bringing honor to the name of Israel. Help me to help him grow into a humane, thoughtful, and holy human being, a child worthy of your blessing.
He's ready to go. Do you want to say hi? May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham and Sarah, Isaac and Rebekah, Jacob, Leah and Rachel, bless this boy River with life and health. May he continue to be a joy to his parents
May your parents find much joy in the years that lie before them. May they rear you with wisdom and understanding, teaching you the ways of righteousness, leading you to the study of Torah and the practice of love and kindness. And may we too, all of us present here today, be granted the joy of seeing you develop and grow, helping you along the way to fulfill the best that is in you. Then our humble prayer shall have been found its answer. The days and years to come shall be for us times of peace and wondrous fulfillment.
I am so thankful for the many joys with which my life has been blessed. Now another great goodness has come to us, the miracle of a new life, the wonder of welcoming another child into the world, a new life to hold, to behold, to love, the chronicle of a new chapter in the life of our family's existence. River, may you grow up in health and happiness to become a blessing to our family, your friends, and all who come to know you. And the microphone.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and keep you.
Yair Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May the light of God's presence shine upon you and be gracious to you.
Yisar Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May God bestow upon you and grant you the most precious of blessings, the blessing of love and friendship, happiness and contentment, and give you peace. And together we say, Amen. And we say, Mazel Tov. Yay. All right. I know, audience participation with the Amens, the Mazel Tov. All right. So we also give you this naming certificate so that you won't remember this, most likely. I know you're ready to be done. You won't remember this, but we have it for you so that you will have it for your whole life. You can let go of him now if you want. And you will have it forever. And I'm going to let Ophelia carry it. Is that okay? Do you think you can do that? And I'm going to put also the ceremony in there so you have it too. Okay? All right. Big, important job. You got it? All right. You're going to take that. All right. Mazel tov. High five. A smile. Done. Take it. I will take it. I love it. So when we read Torah and we go from one book to another, we say together, Chazak, Chazak, Vanit, Chazek, be strong, and be strengthened together. And as we say these words, we also think of those who need our strength, who are in need of healing, of health, of body, of mind, of spirit. So we think of them and we whisper their names aloud now. We join together in the words of Misha Barach, which can be found on page 253.
Mikor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us
as we rise together on page 252 in honor of our Torah, as we lift it high. I have turned it so you can see the break between Exodus and Leviticus.
וזאת התורה שעשה משה לפני בני ישראל, על פי אדוני ביד משה. וזאת התורה שעשה משה לפני בני ישראל, על פי אדוני ביד משה. יאי לי 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 לי, יאי לי 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 לי, יאי לי 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 לי, יאי לי לי לי, יאי לי לי לי, יאי לי לי לי, יאי לי 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 לי. Page 256. עת חיים היא למחזיקים בה, ותומכיה מאושר דרכיה, תחינום וכל נתיבותיה שלום. השיבנו אדוני אליך ונשובה, חדש ימינו כקדם.
We continue with Aleinu, page 283.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא שם חלקנו לייחד את שמו, וגור עלינו להמליך מלכותו. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
You may be seated. We turn now to page 291 for our memorial meditation. It is hard to sing of oneness when the world is not complete, when those who once brought wholeness to our life have gone, and naught but memory can fill the emptiness their passing leaves behind. But memory can tell us only what we were, in company with those we loved. And it cannot help us find what each of us alone must now become, yet no one is ever alone. Those who live no more echo still within our thoughts and words, and what they did is part of what we have become. We do best homage to our dead when we live our lives more fully, even in the shadow of our loss. For each of our lives is worth the life of the whole world, and each one is the breath of the ultimate one. In affirming the one, we affirm the worth of each one, whose life, now ended, brought us closer to the source of life, in whose unity no one is alone, and every life finds purpose. Our thoughts turn now to those in our community and extended community who have died at this time in years past. As we mark their yard sites, we remember them. Abe Alperin, Nelson T. Alter, Richard Appel, Ann Baskin, Caroline Strauss-Bodenheimer, Alan Brightman, Dr. Howard Britton, Helen E. Brisman, Lee Ronald Cantil, Lewis Cooper, Joe Davis, Jacob Dureski, M. Leo Dubinsky, Abe Epstein, Solomon Feldman, Emma Fergotson, Charlotte Cushman Friedberg, Miriam Victor Friedman, Herman R. Friedson, Ethel Fuhr, Maria Reina Garza, Irving Gindi, Julian Glass, Marilyn Goldberg, Sam Goldman, Harry I. Goodman, William Horowitz, Dr. John Huff, Harold Hughes, Lorenzo Iacono, Pat Jackson, Margot Kempler, Jerome Kerman, Morris Klein, Major General retired Stanley Kolodny, Alphonse Krawitz, Dorothy Rosenthal Latin, Naomi Lieberman Lauderstein, Gladys Lazarus, Eva Levinson, Jim Levy, Barbara Markey, Michael Markey, Dorothy Marks, George Miller, Terry Miller, Bertha Feldman Moss, Lloyd T. Munter, Etta Nathan, Esther Nichols, Lena Patiala, Molly Perchikoff, Fanny Pollock, Leah Hinda Pullen, Tobias Rakobi, Michael Regan, Joan Reichert, Richard Rice, Tilly Ricklin, Will Rips, Gerald Rabinowitz, Edward H. Robinson, Diana Rodriguez, Goldie S. Rosenbaum, Belle Rosenberg, Rose Rubin, Shirley Evans Shafir, Sylvia Schulman, Ellen Schwartz, Norman Seaman, Joseph Shanfield, Paul Simon, Faye Sinkin, Donald Smallwood, Leo Sussman, Ermila Tammy, Bernard Truhaft, David B. Vinson III, Mamie Ray Washer, Jerome Wank, Florence Wolfe, Frederica Wolfe, and Ralph Zork. We also think of those who have been buried in the past month, whose families are in a mourning period of Shloshim. We remember Ruth Levinson Lerner, Herman Buddy Meyer Jr., Mona Feder Rubenstein, Carol Hendon, Jeannie Shechet, and Diana Pearl Cole. We also name those and think of those who have been buried in the past 7 days, whose family are in a mourning period of Shiva. We remember Bob Marbut, father of Marcy Marbut, former husband of Margot. Henry L. Hank Bronstein, brother of Don and Jim Selby, Julie and Marlon Miller, uncle of many nieces, nephews, and cousins. Marilyn Friedman, sister of Linda and Stanley Blend, Mark and Darcy Friedman, and Steve and Jackie Friedman, sister-in-law of Lucy Friedman, partner of Steve Kulas, mother and grandmother figure to Tara and Justin, Stella and Gracie Joe, aunt and great-aunt to many. With all of these names and those which are in our hearts each and every day, we turn to page 294 for Kaddish Yatom, rising together as one community. Yitzkadal v'yitzkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach yirtei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayachon u'v'yomechon v'chayed chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'v'zman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam ulmei almaya, yitzbarach v'yishtabach v'yitzpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yithaleh v'yithalal shemei dekudasha b'richu, La'ela mikol berchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say, amen. Our closing song this morning can be found on page 322, Ein Keloheinu.
Ein Keloheinu, ein Kodonenu, ein Kemokeinu, ein Kemoshiach.
Shabbat Shalom.